You got this new technology, right?
Yeah.
Virtuous people will use it for good and to create a better society, a better community around them.
Yes.
But people can also use it for totalitarian
It's a
ways,
double-edged sword.
authoritarian ways. And
Hmm.
so let's go into that. So you write for, what is it, AI Powered Plus? Is that
Yes, AI
okay?
Power Plus is our AI newsletter where we share updates on everything related to AI technology. You know, AI is taking over the world, so we want to be ahead of the curve and
Mhm.
help everybody else stay there too, because you know this thing is moving and
Yeah.
it's moving and it's entering industries where you know people may not even think that it'll touch them, but it probably already has.
Wow.
And so
Mhm.
yeah, so it's at this point where we just want to make sure we share as much information about it as possible. So AI Powered Plus newsletter. Yep.
So yeah, let's talk about that. So what? So you had an interesting. Well, it was on Instagram, so post, but it was also on
Yeah.
Facebook. So I saw it both places, where you were like, "Calm down, people. Like AI is not going to take your job
Yeah.
right now, at least,
Yep.
essentially." So give the people some perspective on like where AI is now and why they shouldn't be worried, but why they also need to develop skills and should be worried in a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like I said, you know, if you don't if you don't continue to stick with the times, if you don't continue to, you know, update your skill set, you're going to be left behind and there are going to be no jobs left for you. I'm just going to be honest. There's not going to be any jobs left for you, especially if you are in industries such as maybe marketing or even tech, you know, just everything below doctor, which is probably every industry. And so it's one of those things where you have to learn how to utilize AI, because if you don't, they're going to get someone who knows and understands it on a level that's better than you do, and they're going to hire them over you. So,
Ah, that's interesting.
yeah,
Yeah.
they just are, because AI doesn't have to AI is not going to take your job, because at the end of the day you do need a a human touch. You do need a person to look over it and know that it sounds like a human talking, because AI isn't perfect by any means.
Right.
But it's one of those things, like I said, where you have to continue to learn, and if you don't, you will be left behind. You just will. You
Oh
just
yeah.
will.
But that goes back to the one of the things we talked about at the beginning with the participation trophies.
Yeah.
It's like it discourages the competitive nature, especially in guys, because guys
Yeah.
from an early age generally they're all about sports or some form of competition. Even like I guess the nerdier kids will join chess or debate or something like that, something more academic. But at the end of the day, it's all competition,
Yep.
right? It's all sharpening who you are, your skills, and getting in there and trying to be excellent and push
Exactly.
the boundaries of, where you're at that moment. But that's not being encouraged at all now.
At
And so
all.
it's like you're telling people, hey, like get out there and gain some new skills. But
Yeah.
some people are even right now, are thinking like, well, why should I have to do that? Like they should
Right.
just let me have my job. It's not fair. And it's
Well, they
like,
won't, because they don't care about you. So.
well, yeah, yeah. Well, that too. Well, also like they have to make money. It's like
Yeah.
if they don't advance with the technology, then
Exactly. That company
they're going to be
becomes
swallowed.
obsolete.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so they can't not advance just because you don't want to advance with them,
Mhm.
or else you won't have a job and they won't have a job.
Right. Like, what would
But if
happen
they
if
just
we
get rid of
never?
you and they advance,
Exactly.
then they can continue and find somebody to replace you. And
Yes.
so, I
Very
mean,
quickly.
but that's what happens in competition on a team. It's like if you don't perform well, then there's somebody on the bench that gets the opportunity. If
Yep.
they perform better than you, well, then
That
they got the
just.
job for that time.
Yeah.
And for you to get back on that field or get back in that competition, then you got to go back to practicing, sharpening your skills. And then when you get your next opportunity, then you got to go out there and you got to shine and you got to kill it.
Yep. You have to work.
Yeah.
You
But
have to work.
people don't want to work.
Because
So,
I mean, they don't, and it's just like, I mean, when computers came on the scene, when computers came on, you know, everybody had to learn to type. Everybody,
yeah.
everyone had to learn what surfing the web meant. And so it's one of those things where now the internet and computers are a part of everyday life. It's kind of weird to think about what life would be like without it. And so I
Yeah.
think pretty soon AI is going to be the same way. And
Right.
so, yeah.
I mean, yeah. I mean, that branches off of the understanding of our world,
Hmm.
right? Even back from when they thought the earth was the center of the universe rather than the sun. It's like, yeah, there was a time when we didn't have phones and that wasn't a part of our everyday life.
Yep.
And now it's like people do their jobs on their phones in some cases,
Oh,
like all of
yes.
their job. If like especially if you're a social media influencer
Yep.
or somebody who manages social media profiles, it's like your whole job is just on your phone or on your computer or whatever. So it's like you have to constantly be expanding,
Hmm.
your understanding and adopting, changing with the times, but carrying the virtues and the will of that God has for us
Absolutely.
with you so that you can remain a person of principle, a quality person, if you will.